Thank you for staying with us. We are still talking about the huge task ahead of the new man in charge, the new sheriff in town at the INEC headquarters, Professor Joash Amupitan, who resumed yesterday, having succeeded, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu. And we have Mr. Bukola Idowu with us, with the Executive Director at Kimpact Development Initiative. Thank you, Mr. Idowu, for staying with us. Now, Professor Amupitan, while speaking yesterday, said, I'm here for a purpose. Maybe if I had a choice, I would have said I would not come here. But from all indications, I can see that God is moving this country, and my coming is divine. With God saying go, who am I to say no? I am here because I have a role to play to ensure that the new Nigeria is birthed. Actually, and by the way, yesterday at the villa, he was accompanied by his wife, children, the Vice Chancellor of the University of Jos, Tanko Ishaya, and top officials of the institutions. I'm sure they will be very proud of their own. And he has said the integrity of our elections will be non-negotiable. That's coming from the man saying, I'm a man on assignment, a divine one at that. How do you see that? I want your opinion on that, Mr. Idowu.
So basically, I think, like I said, his work is cut out for him. And seriously, I want to believe that he has good intention, that is going to move our election to the high and enviable height in Africa, and wish everybody should support him for that. And I'm sure that he must have also consulted, apart from consulting God, which he said, God, I'm asking me if God said I should go, then he has no option. Then he should have also consulted some other people who have also have one or two things to do with our election, in terms of the environment, in terms of the staff, in terms of the logistics, in terms of the laws. I mean, of course, he's a professor of law. He will have seen those laws. So I'm sure that he has good intention, but my major concern that I have been saying, and that is making someone like me not to raise my expectation too high, is that it is like what the Yoruba says. I used to say that you give somebody a goat and you are still holding the rope to the goat. You still don't want to release it. And that rope, in this sense, is our legal framework, is the law, is the enabling environment to work with.
Well,
see,
Mr. Idowu, he is a professor of law. Don't you think he should do well on that, actually, to know these are some of the bottlenecks? He's not just, just one person from somewhere. He's even a senior advocate of Nigeria. Don't you think he should be tinkering with that? But then the thing is, does he have enough time between now and 2027 to achieve those reforms as far as legal framework is concerned?
So there are three reforms. Number one, legal reforms.
Right.
Number two, that can make our election to be in terms of credibility. Number one, legal reforms. Number two is the administrative reforms within INEC.
Right.
Number three is the judicial reforms around election. I just mentioned three now.
Yeah.
These three, he only controls one, which is administrative reform within INEC. That is the one. You see, when we see, let's be factual. I know Nigerians, people say, "Oh, give this man a chance."
Yeah.
But as a practitioner, I know what I'm talking about. I just talk about three major things that make our election to be credible. Number one, our laws. Number two, the INEC itself, the institution itself. Number three is the judiciary. So let's quickly break it down.
Yeah.
Our laws, like I have said, there are a lot of entanglements there that you need to amend to provide an enabling environment. Let me give you one of them.
Yeah.
When you have an institution that want to conduct election, and that institution is also saddled with the responsibility of procurement. So which means, with that regard, you can also, there is an opening to be corrupt, or for the process to be corrupted. What am I trying to say? Do you even know that INEC on their own do procurement, and that procurement, they give out contracts, they procure in billions. So which has made many of them to, instead of focusing on administration of election, many of them are rushing to do procurement. And in the process, just look at the money they want to get. So do we need to have a law that separates? In the US, there is a separate institution for procurement. And there is the electoral body, they face what they want to face, and another institution deal with procurement. So you are focused. You are not thinking about, I need to buy. Even when you, let's look at a football club. It is not the coach that is also thinking of, the coach can suggest this is what we want, but there is a body within the football club that go out and negotiate and buy the players and bring it. There is another coach, there is another people that scout for talent. So when you look at it, but INEC is all in all. That is one. INEC go to court and get distracted and you see, in 2023 election, INEC was joined in 1,209 petitions, and they are also going to conduct election. So they are going to court in and out, and they are still going to conduct election. They are faced with procurement. They are also faced with the responsibility of prosecuting election offenders.
Mr. Idowu, that's why they have different units that can take charge of these things. That shouldn't be a problem. It's a commission. There is no
electoral body. Get me?
Yeah.
Which we have done comparatively across Africa and outside Africa.
Okay.
There is no electoral body that have the responsibility this our present INEC has. In fact, INEC is a whole nation on its own. You expect them to deal with security issue? They are the one to arrest. I mean, they are the one to give order to arrest. In fact, on election day, the security agency are under. Go and check the law. They are under the INEC. So we expect them to prosecute election offenders. We expect them to do voter education. We expect them to do procurement of ballot papers. We expect them to go to court on election adjudication. They also have an ADR. We expect them to register and manage political parties. We expect them to now conduct election.
Mr. Idowu, are you by any chance suggesting, excuse me, are you by any chance suggesting,
let me preempt,
hold on, sir, are you by any time suggesting that INEC be unbundled?
Exactly, so that they can focus, So that is one. So that's why I'm saying that you need that law. Okay, look at it. When a law tells you, when the law doesn't allow you to do that IREF is not known to the law, and it's a major innovation that you cannot transmit election result electronically. So when the law doesn't allow you to do all those stuff, and you want to, and in 21st century you want to conduct an election, how do you do that?
That's a constitutional thing, not an INEC thing.
That is what I am saying. Legal reform. We are talking about the reform. Legal.
Right.
So I just mentioned some of these things. He has no power over them. Number two, I hope you know that you can conduct credible election. And then by the time it gets to the court are throwing it off because the court are already bribed and corrupted. See, let me tell you the tactics.
We're talking about the judiciary now.
The judiciary. Let me tell you the tactics of the politician. Do you know the politician believe one thing? That what the ballot cannot give you, the court can give you. What the ballot cannot give you, they believe the court can give you. And that is why many of them, we don't do anything. They say, okay, fine. Let's go to court. And they're already preparing for court. They're already having budget for court. Okay, look at 2023 general.
So that's why they say go to court.
Go to court. So why? See, because look at the 2023 general election.
Going to court is part of the process.
You see in that election was conflicting judgments. Conflicting judgment, which means something is wrong. So now,
Mr. Idowu, so that we don't lose the thought of that, going to court is part of the election process, isn't it?
Exactly. You are saying my mind. But it's part of the election process that Professor Joash is supposed to preside over.
What will you argue?
Meanwhile, part of the court, it doesn't control.
Yeah.
It doesn't control it. Let me give an example. If Professor Joash look at one political party today that say, look, you cannot feed this candidate because this candidate did not go through primaries. He has the right to say, look, I'm disqualifying this candidate, you cannot feed him. Do you know what happened?
Yeah.
The political party go to court and say, feed the candidates. So, does it control the court? It doesn't, but it will be forced to feed, to go against what they believe and what their law says. In fact, the party primary, they have monitored. So what I am trying to say is that those three, you only control one within INEC, which is administrative. So, but again, let's look at it this way. The civil society organization in which I am one of them, and international body, media like you, we are ready, people will support, which they have been doing. They will support with that legal reform to begin to advocate for it, and the judicial reform around election to advocate for it. But the low-hanging fruit that he has the power to do within himself, administratively within INEC, we want to see him do that. Think about it this way. Let me just give you one. Ability to name and shame and punish impunity within INEC. If he can do that one alone, every other person will sit tight. Let me give you the example I want to give you. In 2023 November Kogi election, Ogorimagongo to be precise, there was a pre-feed result sheet, which means they feed the result sheet before the election start. What did Professor Mahmoud Yakub say? Oh, Professor Mahmoud Yakub or the INEC said, oh, we are going to investigate. Till today, no investigation report, nobody was punished. We just moved on, and then we moved on into the next election. Now, when you don't punish impunity, when you don't punish some of this infraction, then the entire INEC will follow suit.
All right.
Including the REC, they will follow suit. But if you can administratively do something about some of this, administratively you are in charge of logistics. If you can make some of this thing work, then that is all right. At least,
Mr. Idowu, while Mr. Amupitan,
judicial reform and the legal reform will be supporting.
All right, and trust us as media to, just like we are doing right now, and of course you are doing from your end as well, to hold these persons, individuals accountable, and of course to support them where we can, call them out where we should, and all of these things, because this nation is our nation, actually, and it must work in our lifetime and even beyond. Now, Professor Amupitan, while addressing the issue of staff, said, for me, staff welfare is going to be a priority. We will expect a lot from you. And because of that, you also deserve to be well equipped and supported to deliver. We will work assiduously to ensure that your working conditions are conducive, that you have necessary resources to excel. Together, let us uphold the values of democracy and work tirelessly for the credibility of elections. The facts may be challenging, but if we stand united, there is nothing we cannot achieve. The eyes of the nation are upon us. We must rise to the occasion and demonstrate that we are capable of conducting elections that meet the expectations of Nigerians. That is him saying, guys, we have a lot to do. The world is looking at us. By the way, you raised the question of implants. The people that have been planted, in which the INEC staffers, and by the way, we have them in many different organizations. Some of them are career officers today because they were given slots by these same politicians. So most of the time, some of the time, they might get to do the bidding How does he win that battle? Because you have talking about naming and shaming, but his office is in Abuja. Will he be in Lagos? Will he be in Osun State? Will he be in Kogi State? Will he be in Kebbi? Because he has to work with some of these persons who might be unprofessionally loyal to the hands that brought them into that system. How will he win that battle?
Okay, so sorry, just to quickly, I will answer that now. Just to quickly correct what I said the other time. I think I missed one out when I talk about those institutions, the legal reforms, the administrative reform, and then the judicial. I think I missed the security out.
Yeah.
You know, the security is also there. You know, if the police, if the security agency says this election is going to be free, fair, and it's going to be violence free, then we are going to have, so that one also, you need to find a means to control it.
Yeah.
But having said that, you see, like I said, there are three layers of workers in INEC.
Yeah.
The career officer, which are the civil servants. Then there are the political appointee, which are the national commissioner, the REC, and then the chairman himself. And then there are other where you call the technical staff. These technical staff are more or less like consultants, and they can be, many of them are being, some of them are paid by international donors.
How about the ad hoc staff?
Well, I am talking about the day-to-day now, that do the day-to-day running of INEC.
Yeah.
So that is one. So when you look at that, this one engage administratively. As a matter of fact, the chairman also have advisor. He has his technical staff. So most times he has the control over these people to bring them in, and most times international organizations pay for them, you know, things like that. Yeah. Now these people can make internal policy, internal law, internal guidelines that will guide the election. So now he can only control the appointment or the constitution of his technical team, and their technical team. You understand? So they are technical team. So, but you now have the remaining two, the political appointee, the REC, the national commissioner, that were appointed the same way he was appointed. Number two are the civil servants that come in. They have their own processes and procedure, so you can't just wake up and say sack them. So there are civil service procedure to go to be able to sack them. So these are the people we will deal with. Then on the election day, you are not going to introduce new set of people. Most times these are the people that constitute the large chunk of your workforce on election day. They are called the ad hoc staff. As a matter of fact, if you are taking one per polling unit, one ad hoc staff per polling unit, on election day, INEC will be employing 176,000 ad hoc staff. That is if you want to say one per polling unit, but in most cases they are more than that. So that tells you that these are the large chunk of people that they cannot control their affiliation. How do you vet 176,000 people to say, look, they are not going to do something terrible at the polling unit? So, but that is the people you are going to work with. Now, what does he need to do? He needs, number one, lead by example. People read body language a lot. When your body language, when as a leader, when you know that you cannot tolerate some of these things, then everybody will fall in line. If Anambra election is coming now, and then you have the minimum level you can go below, that you cannot go beyond this minimum, then people sit tight. If somebody, for instance, if look at what happened in the Edo election, there was Form EC8A uploaded on IREF. There was Form EC8A, different Form EC8A, when civil society wrote to INEC to give them certified true copy. The one INEC gave as certified true copy is different from the one on IREF. Now, in the court, the one tender in court is different from the remaining two. The three emanating from INEC, no, it's a shame That is the low INEC has gone in the recent years. So what I am trying to say that this thing, who is responsible? Who issued out this thing? Who issued out this thing? He has the power. It's either you reshuffle, transfer, or just do something. Clean up within. If you are able to do that and get the people to support you, and that will go. Now, lastly on this, quickly, just in 2 seconds, the other thing you need to do is this, and this is an advice I will give him. Don't come into INEC and say, look, I am going to come and make reform. No. You need to make the people to believe in your vision and to be able to work for you. Think about it. One of the things you need to know is that I use football analogy a lot. Do you know a coach? I mean, you know the player can gang up and they may not want to play for a particular coach until the coach will be getting poor results. So you need to find out how to motivate the staff, how to get them to also play for you and weed out the bad elements.
Right. All right. 2 questions before we go this morning. We're on the home stretch right now. Number 1, very critical, is, you know, at the time that he was being screened by the National Assembly, almost 2 hours, and you know, politicians, that assembly of those men and women, personally, I was looking at them to say, all of these persons saying glowing things about this man, you know, some of them asking questions, are these same people, some of them actually, not all of them, that will be planning on how to circumvent the system. Those same people that are screening him, you know, only that, you know, not all of us have the gift of being clairvoyant for him to see through their minds. In fact, some of them at the villa yesterday, we have ulterior motives. And that's the truth of the matter, except want to deceive ourselves. Many of them congratulating him, winning on him, I mean, wishing him all the best. And in fact, even putting him to task to say, we must have credible election, we must have integrity. Some of them, they are National Assembly members today by what you call abracadabra, because some of them were not even properly nominated. Their nomination forms are in question till today. Some of them came through the back door, and they are the same people. In fact, somebody said, what Nigerian politicians cannot spoil has not been made. You know, speaking colloquial English, Nigerian English right now, how does he win that part? Because those parts are beyond him. You have talked about some legs that are beyond Professor Amupitan and INEC. Those people, they are powerful. They are in the system. They have their people in the police. They have their people among the transport workers. In fact, some transport workers and associations are loyal to some people that we know. And the same people that will still work for INEC. How does he win that battle of politicians that are already strategizing, you know, to circumvent whatever is planning, starting with this another election? And they are the same people that we say we expect our elections to be credible.
So on a lighter note, let me just let you know something, that there are 2 people in that house, critical, and they play critical role, asking questions and then confirming. They did not go through primaries at all. Ahmed Lawan and then the Senate president.
That's it.
They did not even go through primary at all. So when you talk about abracadabra, you see, they just through the instrumentality of the courts, they were there. You know, so one of the things, so you have to now begin to deal with those kind of.
How does he win that battle?
So how is he going to win that battle? See, in all fairness, let me tell you, politicians are reasonable people.
How do you mean?
Most, they feed on loopholes within the laws. They feed on loopholes within the law. And that is why I feel the best way to win this battle is to conduct free, fair, credible election. If you are able to do that, see, if you lose an election, you will know that, look, even if I go to court, I have no case. I give you clear example of people who lost election and did not go to court. Because they lost and they know that they cannot win this battle, even when they go to court. Think about Jonathan in 2015. He did not go to court. Not because, but the truth is the numbers. Look at the numbers. Number 2, right there in Osun, I mean, the APC secretary, the current APC national secretary, Senator Bukola Idowu, lost. He did not go to court, despite the fact that he's a senior advocate of Nigeria. Because most times when you see that, look, these are the numbers. This election was free and fair. So you are not looking for any technicality. You are not looking at, okay, let's cancel this one. If you cancel this, then you will, and then you are looking for means of cancellation. Then you are also looking at, oh, let's use talk here. The security, they are in charge. Then when people lose, then the number of people that go to court that say rubbish about that election will be reduced. And I give you statistics. Do you know, in 2007, we have one of the highest, like 1,290 petitions after 2007 election. When Jega came in 2011 election and 2015 election, the number of cases that went to court came down. Then in 2015 and 2019 election conducted by Professor Mahmoud Yakub, the number of cases went up again, and then politicians, that shows that, look, the acceptability of the election was not on,
Mr. Idowu, permit me to butt in here. Please. You know, yeah, you have said politicians are quote unquote reasonable people. They feed on loopholes. But if the INEC is able to conduct free, credible polls, the thing is, how will they be able to do that? I gave you some instances when they don't control the transportation. Some of these politicians have loyalists that are into transport. They have their people in the security operatives, you know. So some of these persons can always stand. We have seen in Lagos at the last election, we saw where police were standing down when louds were telling people, if you won't vote for a particular candidate, please get out now, or you will have yourself to blame. And there were policemen there. So how can the election that was cast in that place be said to be credible? That's the bottlenecks that I'm talking about. You can't reach a credible point when politicians are infiltrated everywhere.
So two things. You are re-emphasizing what I said the other time.
That's what I'm saying. We must win that battle.
Are not high because there are obstacles he does not control. Though there are things you can do. There are things you can do. Let me also say that there is no election that is 100% each free all over the world.
Right.
But we must go beyond above average. So, but there are things he can do. Number one is he need to review a lot of things and look at where he can reduce the power of the politicians. So if you think the NURTW are already compromised, what are the alternatives to your logistics? And you need to begin to look at that. Right. Number two, how do you form synergy with the judiciary? That look, you and the judiciary must be on the same page in terms of credibility of our election. But in all honesty, let me say this. It is like we are asking somebody, we are asking a lamp to come and perform miracle in the midst of wolves. No. What we need to do is the total institutional reformation.
Interesting analogy there.
The election security, the election adjudication, which is electoral justice, the judiciary, and the INEC itself.
Right.
So we cannot do him alone. But again, let's see how he will begin to move into the right path.
All right. You know, just like his name connotes, Amupitan, the ton is before him, and he has all, you know, in his stead to write whatever he wants. Although you have made it quite clear in the course of the program this morning to say, unless some critical reforms are made, some of those promises might be beyond him, if I get you correctly this morning, Mr. Idowu. Right.
Absolutely.
We must thank you sincerely this morning. My last shot for you this morning is this, 15 seconds. If you are to have a one-on-one with Professor Joash Amupitan as Executive Director of KDI, what are those things you will tell him? 15 seconds.
Number one, I will tell him that he needs to have second opinion from everything the people around him, the National Commissioner, will be telling him. Number two, I will tell him to have a link directly with the feed. He should not be sitting in his office if you really want to have credible election.
All right.
Because what they tell you is totally different from what is happening,
on the field. Thank you very much. The Executive Director, Kimpact Development Initiative, Bukola Idowu. Thank you for your time. And of course, I'm sure we can agree that we can only wish, Professor Joash Amupitan all the best in the task ahead. Thank you, sir.
All the best to him.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, this will be the size of the program today. It's everybody's country. It's not just Professor Amupitan's, duty alone, because the election that he superintends with INEC will birth the kind of leaders that we administer the trajectory that you and I will have to follow. Monetary policy, fiscal policy, the educational direction, the manufacturing industry, security, economy, health, everything. Those persons that they will elect, that you and I will elect, but the process that INEC will be the umpire of, are those people that we have to make our peace with. So we must actually be involved in how he works. We wish him all the best. And thank you very much for staying with us during the course of this program. Femi Ojo is my name. I thank the production team as well. I'll see you on Monday. God willing, have a fabulous weekend. Please be responsible, hold caution to your hand, and make sure, you just stay alive, as I will always say. God bless Nigeria. See you on Monday. Bye.